almost 3 double chests filled with shulker boxes, filled with redstone dust. When you include the hoppers here, that is just 1 shulker box short of 3 double chests, or 18 shulker boxes of redstone blocks. I have been AFK at this raid farm for about a day and a half, and I actually survived that long. I'm still not sure it's 100%. I actually did die once. I'm not sure if that was my own fault. I might have bumped the mouse, but I was actually near the computer when I died. I just noticed that all of a sudden it went silent. I was able to get my stuff. So I still can't guarantee it's 100%, but the netherite armor does make a big deal. And I was able to AFK for a day and a half and get almost 3 shulker boxes, or 3 double chests of shulker boxes of redstone dust, on top of all the other resources that come with it. Just about as much gunpowder, tons of glowstone. I actually turned off the sticks, but we still have a ton of those. A bunch of bottles. And I actually had to stop what I'm doing and come and fix the storage for the emeralds, because I wouldn't have had enough emerald storage to AFK for that long. So I used the same thing that I set up in my last episode for the gold farm. It's actually got a few more chests, which were barely enough, as you can see. Each one of those is 2 double chests of shulker boxes of emeralds. So they all look like that. Lots and lots of emeralds. We even crafted some. We got more and more blocks of emeralds. I don't even want to craft all these. There's just so many emeralds, but I do kind of want to keep them all. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I actually managed to AFK this thing for a day and a half, and I'm super excited with how much redstone that got me. In my last episode, we set up a couple of nether pathways like this one right here, and I broke through some bedrock. I set up some beacons down below, and everything worked great. And then when I posted the video, Hamza, one of my longtime viewers, pointed out that beacon lights will shine through bedrock. And I knew this. I've used it before, and I just completely forgot. So not only did we not have to break bedrock in order to get a beacon to shine through it, we can actually set up a full beacon. So these ones are only speed 1. We can set up a full speed 2 beacon below the bedrock. Now, I'm probably still going to break bedrock just because, like, setting up the alignment of where you want them, and then you might end up getting netherrack in the bedrock. It's probably still going to be easier to break just a few blocks of bedrock so that I can get down below, and then down in the netherrack, I can set up a full beacon. But that's a lot less bedrock that needs to be broken, and it's going to be a lot easier. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So thank you very much, Hamza. I can't believe I forgot it. I wish I had remembered that in the first place, but now that I know that and remember it, we can set these ones up with speed 2 beacons, and all the rest of these pathways are going to be a lot easier because it's going to be a lot less bedrock breaking. So that's awesome. So I'm going to do that to these paths. But before I do that, I actually want to set up the next one just so that we continue the flow of getting these pathways done. I mentioned this one in my last episode. This one runs to the desert, but if we go slightly that way, about 1,000 blocks is the Wither Skeleton farm, and this is one that Astazora always has trouble finding, so I want to get a pathway out to that one for him. I didn't end up needing to break any bedrock at all. I actually tunneled down through the netherrack underneath the bedrock and set up the beacons down there, and that actually worked pretty well. It's a little more difficult to actually find in the position of them, and I had to move 1 or 2 of them because I set them up in the wrong place accidentally, but it would have ended up, it actually wouldn't have saved me much time trying to drill through the bedrock. It just, you've got to break a certain number of blocks in order to even get down in the first place. So it wouldn't have saved me any effort if I had actually tried to go through the bedrock. So I went underneath the bedrock, and that worked pretty well. So we've got the 2 paths here. So we got yellow and brown that lead to the desert, and we've got black and gray that lead off toward the Wither Skeleton farm. And then we've got the entrance here that I decided to go with black and brown. I tried a few different colors. This is the only one that really worked. And so we can come on down here to the desert. This one's really close. It's only about 200 blocks. And we got a nice little new beacon here. I like this shape. This is the same shape I've used for the portal at the end portal. So I like this. This works pretty well. I think I like this. Might want to come back and make them a little more ornate in the future, but I think this is a pretty good start. Now we head on down to the Wither skeleton farm. This one's a little bit further, but it's nice and convenient now that we can find our way a lot easier. There we go. This one's about 1,000 blocks away, so it's a little bit of a flight, but it's not too bad. It definitely helps when you know where you're going. And so we've got the same basic shape here, made out of blackstone this time. I got little wither skeleton skulls for decoration. If we come through this portal, we'll see that one of the problems I ran into when I was setting up the beacons is that this is a perimeter. So I was drilling through the netherrack, and I hit the perimeter where there's no blocks there. So I had to figure out where to put them. I ended up putting them up in the sky. So one of them is just right up above. That's right there. So this is the 2 beacons at the entrance to the Wither Skeleton Farm. So that's kind of fun. It's got glass on it, so we don't get any spawns happening up here. And then I'm not sure if we'll be able to see the other one. Let me disable the nether fog. That might help a little bit. Tweakaroo can do that. Oh yeah, wow. That makes a big difference. So the other one should be in one of these directions. Oh, I put it up here. I tried it at the bottom, and for some reason the beam didn't reach all the way up. So now it's way up here. And here's the other one. It's just kind of floating in the sky. Took a little bit more effort to get that one set up, but it's working now. And we've got some nice pathways. Oh, by the way, the nether hub with the nether fog off. I mean, just look at this thing. You can actually see the zombie pigman farm there, and the big lava pool from a raid farm, and everything. So I've come over to spawn, and we've got the Obsidian Bank here. This started out as a storage building for our Obsidian farm, but we've expanded it to store other items we have a lot of. And I've got some crops that I'd like to add here, as well as many of the items from piglin buttering. But before I do that, there's some improvements that I've been wanting to make. The chest for these shulker dispensers is just a little bit too high, and you have to get really close in order to open it. And I've been doing some testing in creative, and I found a way to get this mechanism a block shorter, meaning I can drop down the chest a block. It should be much easier to use, and I'd like to get that done before all these chests are loaded up with even more items. That ended up being a pretty easy change. I didn't have to mess with the actual shulker box dispenser part of the machine at all. It was just the mechanism behind it that actually holds the hopper. I had made that more compact. And so now we can get into these chests a lot easier. I like this. This is a big improvement, I think. Right here in the 6 chunk by 6 chunk area are all the farms that provide the items that I want to put in the Obsidian Bank. However, the storage here needs to be upgraded a little bit because we don't really have great shulker box loaders for the system. On this side, we've got sugarcane and bamboo, and there's a bunch stored in here. So when I built this, the idea was we had access to a decent number of shulker boxes, but not infinite shulker boxes. And so I knew that I would eventually run out of shulker boxes. So there's the bulk storage up there that loads down into these shulker loaders. And this one over here for the bamboo hasn't been upgraded to 1.16. It looks like I actually tore it apart to upgrade that one. And so this one isn't working. But there's also a bunch of items stored up there that we need to get out of the system. This one should be fairly easy. I should just be able to double up on these shulker box loaders and make sure that they're all working, and then that'll get the items out fairly quickly, and then the 2 double speed shulker box loaders should be able to keep up with the farm at full speed. On this side, however, we have an entirely different problem. We've got the melon and pumpkin farm, and when I set this one up, it wasn't at all reasonable to use shulker boxes, especially for melons, pretty much at all. And so it's just a bunch of chests, and for the pumpkins I would manually pull out what I needed, and the melons I didn't even really need at the time. I still don't really need anywhere near this kind of melons, but I'd still like to get them loaded up into shulker boxes, and that means we're going to need some pretty serious shulker box loaders because at the peak rate, the melon farm creates like 140,000 melon slices per hour, so some pretty serious shulker box loading. But I've got it all charted out. I've got it all figured out. I just need to set up a bunch of loaders down below, and let's get all these items into shulker boxes and get some loaders that will actually keep up with these farms. It took 4 of our 4X shulker box loaders in order to keep up with all the melons. It only took 1 for the pumpkins. So these are all set, and I believe they're finished unloading all the items that were in the storage up above. So when it's got a filled shulker box, it will spit it out into this water stream here. This one's for the pumpkins, and this one back here is for all the melon shulker box loaders, and they will take it through a water elevator up to the level up above. We got some chest up there for that storage, and a phantom over here. There we go. And there are an awful lot of melon slices here. Just, it's going into the second chest. That's a lot of melon slices. Not nearly as many pumpkins, but still, that is a lot of pumpkins that we've got going on here. And if we go over to this side over here, I've also upgraded the sugarcane and bamboo. I believe these ones are still working on unloading all the items here. So we've got quite a lot of sugarcane there, and it's still going. But that's only one unloader. We got nearly as much sugarcane here, and this one's still going as well. And we got really annoying phantoms. There we go. And bamboo is over here. This has a lot more bamboo than I expected in the system. This bamboo farm was never super efficient. I've actually improved it, but before it was only able to grow to a certain height. It's still unloading, and that's a lot of bamboo. I am surprised by how much is in the system, but we can see here that the bamboo never had access to skylight because we're blocking it with these farms up above. I only just today added this section right here with all these lamps. Now all it needed was this one lamp right there, and then it would be able to grow to full height. Before, it was only able to grow to about 5 or 6 blocks, so it wasn't a very efficient bamboo farm, but bamboo grows so fast, I guess, that we got a lot. But this will seriously upgrade the system because it will generate a lot more bamboo now. I know Astazora is pretty excited about that one. So the other thing I've upgraded here is that when I set up the sugarcane and bamboo farm, I accidentally spilled some water from that water track up there, and it broke a couple of these flying machines. So I fixed those as well. So yeah, some pretty big upgrades here. We got some massive storage upgrades. I love dealing with Minecraft storage. That's one of my favorite aspects of the game. So that was a lot of fun. Now we can take all these items back to the Obsidian Bank and store them there. And the farms themselves are more efficient as well. So that's awesome. One last thing I'd like to do in this upgrades project is to upgrade my own storage the same way I did the Obsidian Bank. This is the exact same shulker box dispenser that we've got going here, so I can drop down this chest here. It's pretty inconvenient. You have to get real tight in order to get into there, so that'll be nice to have that drop down. But also on top of that, there's only 2 double chests of storage in these, so if we come here, I don't know, yeah, 2 double chests right there. So this will actually upgrade me. I'll be able to store 3 double chests in each of my bulk sorters there. So that should be pretty nice, and it should be a fairly easy upgrade. I got a little bit carried away here. I ended up doing something else that I've been wanting to do for a while here, and that is all these colored shulker boxes. So I used to have a supply line that would supply all the shulker box loaders up here and make sure that they were distributed as evenly as possible, and I ripped all of that out. And instead, now that we have stackable shulker boxes and basically unlimited shulker boxes, I was able to load each one of the shulker box loaders directly with a stack of shulker boxes that were the color that I wanted them to be. And so I actually had to rip all that out, recolor all the shulker boxes that were in the system as well, and recolor all the ones that were in the shulker dispenser. And also there was a mechanism that would take the shulker boxes as they were broken and send them back up, and instead I've sent them over this way so that they come into this chest, which is the same chest that the shulker boxes that I put into the system, when they're emptied out, they go into that chest as well. So that's a pretty nice change. I'm pretty happy with it. It did end up taking a little bit longer than I thought, but I think it looks a lot better. So I'm really happy with that. Astazora and I are starting a new big project in the end, and it involves villagers. And so we need to get some villagers into the end. We're going to end up breeding a whole bunch of them, but in order to make the process easier to get them there, we're going to start with just 2. So I need to move 2 villagers to the end. Fortunately, I already have a mechanism to get villagers out of my breeding cell over here and get them into the Nether. So all I got to do is push a button here. It should already be all set up. and then it will just send them down straight into that nether portal right over there. So let me get 2 villagers loaded up, and then on the nether side, I will round them up into some boats. Getting them over to the end was pretty easy. Now all I got to do is put some boats down in the near vicinity, and they should just hop right into them, hopefully. Being villagers, they're always going to be a little bit difficult. It usually works better if they're already walking in the direction that you want them to go. Yeah, this guy's already wandering way off. All right, let's see if we can get him into a boat. Come on. You know you want to. Villagers, man. They'll take every opportunity to be difficult that they can. It generally works. There we go. That one's in. See if we can get this guy in. And then the end portal is just straight down towards those purple beacons over there. So once we got them loaded into boats, I just got to row them down a pathway over there. And then that will get them most of the way to the end. There we go. Man, I just set up this pathway in my last episode. This is soul sand I was rowing on. It was brutally slow, but I was worried if I took them down the edge that it'd be basically impossible to get them back up. So I went with it. So we got them both here. Now all I got to do is get them into the portal here. And then this is the part I'm the most worried about, because we haven't really tested this part very well. And I'm not sure how well it's going to go. And since it's villagers, I'm going to assume pretty badly. But let's get them through the portal and let's see what happens. All right, it didn't record for some reason or another, but this actually went really smoothly. I had a little bit of trouble getting them into the cart, but I set the cart here, gave it a push, and that grabbed them, and they went right in. We just got an activator rail right here. You can still see it's still activating. And then this little thing right here. Yeah, they went right through. Then over here on the nether side, one of them should push the other one already, and then I will probably have to give this one a push. There we go. And I've already set this up, and then let's just follow them right through. I broke the bedrock on the top of this little end pylon here, so they should, it might take a second. They're probably in timeout, but it should, there they go. And then let's go through ourselves, and then they land on this platform automatically. We were looking it up. Astazora did the research, and we figured out that on the northwest corner, so if we come from here, if we're looking this way, we're looking southeast. So on the northwest corner of this, there's a 5x5 area that it will scan for areas. So this right here is right on the northwest corner, 5 blocks diagonally from that portal. So they will always land on this block right here. And then what we've done is we just set up some stairs here into a little area. And then they are lured by these workstations. This is the closest way. They won't walk around. They will walk the fastest way, and they'll just fall down these trapdoors. And then what I need to do, well, first of all, I need to throw them some food. It is nighttime, so I don't know if they'll grab it in time, but they should. And then I actually want to close this all off, because otherwise we'll get iron golems spawning in there. It's easier if they just spawn on top. We'll still get them spawning, but they'll spawn on top instead of inward. So that's that. And now all I got to do is wait for them to breed. While I'm waiting, I've got a second breeder. This is just the initial breeder to get us up to 12 villagers to fill the second breeder that's going to be a lot faster than this one. Well, between that clip and this one, I actually ended up redesigning a whole new villager breeder, and it's going to be a lot faster, but it requires over twice as many villagers. So at this point, I'm just sitting around waiting for more villagers to breed up. So I think this is as good a time as any to end the episode, and I will talk about the villager breeder and what we're working on in the next episode. But if you're interested in finding out more before then I suggest you check out Astazora's channel. He's been working pretty diligently on this building over there, so he will have a video out in the next day or two. I will link his channel if you want to go check him out. He's actually running this project, and I'm just kind of supporting it. So if you want to go check him out, then I suggest that you do so. Until then, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye now.